You need to know what the rules are regarding legal separation in the state where you live, almost no matter what grounds you're choosing to use. In Virginia, where I practice family law, we recognize, at least for now, both fault and no fault grounds for divorce. But either way, in the majority of circumstances, you're going to have to be separated for the full statutory period, which is 1 year or 6 months if, one, you do not have any minor children and you have a signed separation agreement. Virginia, people always say Virginia doesn't recognize legal separation, but that's not really true. Even though there's no forms that you file, you don't need a lawyer, there's nothing you have to go down the court and do. Legal separation is required in the sense that it's required by law. You have to be separated for a legal period in order to get a divorce. And to do that, you have to do two things. One is stop cohabitating, which is just a fancy legal word we use to describe living as husband and wife, and you have to form the intent to end the marriage. So unless and until those two things happen at the same point in time, you form the intent to end the marriage and stop cohabitating, you are not legally separated. So the clock hasn't started ticking. So you want to make sure that you know when that happens and that you know what triggers it so that you can say kind of definitively, this is what's happening, this is when it happened, because you're going to need to be able to prove that in order to finalize your divorce. And even though beginning July 1st, you'll be allowed to get an immediate, so-called immediate divorce from bed and board without the whole statutory separation period, you're still going to have to be separated for the full year before you can get the final divorce, which is called a divorce from the bond of matrimony, as opposed to the divorce from bed and board. So this is all highly Virginia specific, and just to point out that the laws can vary dramatically from state to state. So make sure that you know what they are and that you know when your separation period has begun so that you can start counting down towards when you can get your final divorce entered.